What's up, guys? Horror Man back for another review. So today we're going to take a look at the business suit Casey Jones and Foot Soldier Split Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures. Now these are made by NECA Toys, and it's part of that ongoing line of 1987 cartoon accurate action figures. So just taking a look at the packaging, pretty much what we're used to, but we do get some awesome new art by Aaron. So we have the Casey Jones in the suit, and then we have that foot soldier has been like completely split in half, so really cool. You do get to see the different accessories highlighted there. Ninja Turtles logo at the top, that classic Turtles logo of course, and then you get the highlights of the people responsible. At the back you do get the action figures pictured on here, and of course you see Casey now has just like the dress shirt as opposed to the sport jacket. Same read up. We haven't really seen an updated version of this, pretty much the same as we're used to. Some of the other Haul-A-Thon Target exclusive figures, so you see Samurai Usagi, and some of the other stuff on here. Get a picture of Casey on the side, picture of the split foot soldier, and that's about it. So let's go ahead and get this out of the packaging and a closer look. Alright, so here they are outside of the packaging. Now you do get a backdrop with these, pretty much the one we've seen before with some of these other sets. We'll go ahead and start by taking a look at Casey Jones, and we'll look at the foot soldier as well, but I'm not going to go over too much with him, mainly just the details in the sculpt and the accessories. You pretty much know what to expect, the articulation on that guy. But Casey, there's a lot to talk about. This is based on the Corporate Raiders of Dimension X episode, so there's a lot of episode-specific stuff in here. So we'll go ahead and start by taking a look at the head sculpt. Alright, so taking a look at the first head sculpt here, and this is the one that's on him inside of the box, you got his classic hockey mask look. Now, of course, you don't actually see him without the hockey mask in the series, but there is an unmasked head that comes with this set, and we'll talk about that one in a second. But just taking a look at this head sculpt, really nice details in the sculpt and the line work on here. It's very simple yet accurate, but I think they've done a really nice job. Like I said, the lines look really good. Pretty much basic paint work, but it's enough. It doesn't need all that like shadowing or anything, in my opinion. But just really nice, sculpting all around. I like how the hair kind of gets a little bit wild at the top and on the sides. The red strap for the hockey mask is a little bit brighter than the last one, which I really like. And just getting a nice 3/4 shot of that hockey mask. Again, just really nice details here. You can see the good sculpt in the ear as well. And the red strap, how it goes around the side and into the back of his head. Really love the sculpt work in that hair. And I kind of like how it has a bit more of like, almost like a shine to it. It's not quite as dull. But yeah, I really like the direction that hair is going, and it looks a little bit longer than the first one, and I like how it just kind of flares out a little bit, but just awesome sculpt work. And over to the other side, again, just really nice sculpt work all around on this Casey Jones head sculpt. Over to the back, you get a really nice look at that hair sculpt, just excellent work all around, just a lot of details, just a lot more sculpting in this hair than the first one, so very happy with that. And here's just one quick profile view of Casey. As I mentioned, you do get a second head sculpt with this Casey Jones, which is an unmasked head sculpt. But before I show you that, I did want to do a little side-by-side comparison with the original NECA Toys Casey Jones head sculpt. And you could definitely see a big difference in those. And I'll do another side-by-side comparison later on. But here is the unmasked head sculpt. And I really like this one, and I think it just came out amazing. So just really good work on both these. Now you can just pop this head sculpt off. It's a little tough to do on camera. Alright, so here is that unmasked Casey Jones head sculpt. Again, just really like the head sculpt here. Just another quick shot of the comparison. But I really love this. It reminds me of like if the 2012 cartoon Casey Jones was like in his mid-20s. It really just reminds me of him. He's got that like after practice hockey face, or like a rough game, He's got the broken nose band-aid going on there. He's got the big like X on his cheek. He's got the tooth missing. He's got the scar on the eyebrow. couple scratches there, but he just really has that look. And like I said, it just reminds me of him in like his mid-20s. And the right side of his face isn't too bashed up compared to the left side, but you do, of course, get that scar on his eyebrow and a little bit of a scratch around his right cheek there. But I love the hair sculpt. It's still wild even without the hockey mask, of course. Quick shot of the hair, and you can see again this really nice sculpt, and it does look different than the one that's like got the hockey mask on. So nice to have a little bit of a change up on the hair, but for the most part it looks about the same. So just really nice details on this all around. So taking a look at the torso here, really nice work going on with the sport jacket, some good line work going on. And he's got that like double-breasted sport jacket, so you got of course 2 buttons there, and you can see some nice like lines in that material. You can see where the buttons are kind of like tighter. You got like a little pocket line on here. But he's got that kind of very bright tie. I love the lines around the white collared shirt, like where the collar actually is. I do wish the tie itself had some black lines around the outer part of it, or at least maybe bring that line down just a little bit more. But for the most part, really nice details in that suit. Over to the back, you do get some more line work in the suit jacket. Not too much, just kind of like some like marks where you can see the fabric's kind of stretched a little bit tighter. Again, it's a bit more of a buff body, and it's got that like bisected kind of like cell shading going on, so you can see different colors or different shades in the back compared to the front, which is really cool. You do see that with most Ninja Turtles figures made by NECA. My only complaint about this is this one part here, like above the bicep, has a bit of a gap, and I've had a hard time like figuring that out. Alright, and then finally down to the pants. You just basically got those kind of like khaki style work pants, basic pants. And he does have those big old shoes, or I guess these would be boots. They look more like boots. They're more brown compared to the green ones of the original figure. And these are new boots. They're not the same ones you saw with the original Casey. So his feet are a little bit bigger. He does have peg holes on both the feet. He might need a stand. I mean, he stands pretty good, but every once in a while he will fall over. And just a quick shot of the back of the legs. You can see some good line work just in like the wrinkles and stuff, and then toward the bottom of the cuff. I do really like those boots. You can see the nice sole and the line work on the top and then around to the sides. So overall, just really nice details in that sculpt. Alright, so taking a look at the foot soldier here, and this is the split version of the foot soldier. This is a very, very cool sculpt. Now, for the most part, it's really just going to be that torso that's the different part. Everything else is the same. So I really don't want to go over too much with this figure, but I definitely want to look at this torso sculpt and at head sculpt. So you can see that he's been cut in half. This is a really great sculpt here, and you can see all the details and inner workings of this foot soldier. It came out amazing. I just love all the different colors and just all the different inner workings of what we're seeing here. And here's a shot of the other like inner face of the left side of the foot soldier's face. A little bit different than the other side, but just really great details all around. Just can't say enough. It's just such a cool concept, and I just really love all the details. Also love that the foot soldier has this very sad look on his face, but I really do like that. And he has that same sad eye expression on the other side, of course. So just very cool, and again, just really nice line work in that sculpt. You can see the details came out really nice. I like that big shoulder piece that's typically on those foot soldiers. And then over to the back, you can just see this really nice split going right down his back, and it goes almost down to the waistband. It's just a little bit above it, so and it's just a really nice sculpt. Now, aside from the obvious like completely different looking sculpt with the split foot soldier, it's pretty much the same as all the other foot soldiers. Now, I don't have the ultimate foot soldier, unfortunately. I really only have the ones that came with Casey, April, and the original foot soldiers from that old 2017 box set. And what I can tell you is that they are different colors. So like the original ones I have, which this is an original 2017 foot soldier, you can see this one's definitely a more vibrant purple, where this is more of a darker purple. So definitely a little bit of change there. Another big change that I couldn't happen to notice is that the new ones don't have that bisected like cell shading look. So where you can see where it's like a darker purple in the back and then a lighter purple in the front. The new one doesn't have that at all. So that could be a sign of things to come. I'm not sure. You do get the blaster, but then you also get 6 different interchangeable hands. So if you do have some of those older foot soldiers, you could use those interchangeable hands with them, or you could use them with this guy to show some like agony poses or something like that. You do get some different interchangeable parts which will actually change up this figure a good bit. First and foremost, you do get some interchangeable hands. So on the figure, inside of the packaging, you do have the fisted hands. You also have this very large open gripping hand, and then you have these tighter gripping hands. Now besides those interchangeable hands, you also get 2 more interchangeable hands that come on these interchangeable arms, which is very cool. So you get these white sleeved arms with just these open hands. Now what those are for is you can actually interchange those by taking the ones that are on him now, take those off. Now once you get these suited arms off, you could then take the jacket off, and it's really cool. You can actually unbutton it where the buttons are, which is unique. So you could just take this right off, and then of course you have your dress shirt Casey, and then you just want to plug these new arms in. Alright, so here is your jacketless Casey Jones, and I do think he looks pretty cool. He almost looks like a news reporter now. I could definitely see him now, like, working side by side on the news with April O'Neil. So pretty cool. Honestly, I never thought we'd see this figure, so I love that they've gone the extra mile by giving us both looks of him in this episode, and of course giving it, taking it one step farther with that unmasked head sculpt. Just really cool. Now I do love this unmasked Casey Jones figure. Of course this is not accurate, so let's go ahead and pop this head sculpt off here. Alright, so just like all the other Casey Jones NECA toys is made, you do get a vast array of accessories, or sporting equipment in this case. So of course you do get the golf bag, which looks really good. I'm pretty sure it's the same as the original. It's just more of like brown as opposed to like the kind of dull brown of the original. This is a little bit better color. So you do want to get this over top of that neck peg, and if you have the head sculpt off, it just works better. Alright, so here he is with the golf bag on, and I did put his hockey mask head sculpt on. Interestingly enough, he actually doesn't really wear the sport jacket much at all in this episode. He mainly wears it in the beginning of the episode for the interview, so through almost the entire episode, this is pretty much what he looks like. And then at the beginning and like the end of the episode, he really just wears his regular Casey Jones attire. The gloves, he kind of like is seen with the gloves on and with the gloves off. So I would say for the most part, he wears the gloves on in the episode. So we'll go ahead and see if those interchangeable hands will work. We'll also take a look at the interchangeable heads and see if the old Casey and the new Casey heads can switch. I imagine they will, but we'll just double check it just to make sure. So of course all Casey Jones figures, when they come with this bag, it's got to be able to fit everything, right? So we got this cool foot soldier weapon rack here. We got his goalie stick, his classic hockey stick, and you can see a very basic line work on here. You do get one bat. Now if you combine both of the Caseys, you will get 2 bats in case you want that look. You do get this sledgehammer, which is really cool. Smash up all kind of machines. And then of course you have his, looks like a barbed wire steel bat. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but they do all fit inside of that bag. Now besides the usual Casey Jones accessories, you do get a couple other very episode specific items. So the first one you get is this basket of mail. If you don't remember the episode, he does end up getting a job at Octopus Inc., and they hire him in the mailroom. So this is his mail basket, I guess. But you can see all the different envelopes in here, and they're all sculpted in. This one is kind of loose, and it feels like it come out, but it doesn't. But it is a cool little accessory for Casey. And then for the final accessory, here he is with this little water jug, which is, again, very episode specific. In the episode, people get brainwashed by this corporation, and the water is the only thing that could basically wake them up. So you basically have to shoot this water in their face. And this is like how he squirts it out of the front. So pretty cool. I'm glad they included that. And he holds that water jug just fine with that right kind of wider open gripping hand. The only other weapon he really uses in this episode is the baseball bat, and you do get that. But I do love that not only do you get the gripping hand, but you get these open hands, so it gives you a little bit more uses for the different hands. Articulation is what you'd expect with the usual Casey Jones figures, so you do get pretty good rotation on the head sculpt. You get plenty of forward down, plenty of angles. You can get the T-pose going. You do get a nice double hinged elbow, plenty of wrist articulation. I do find the articulation better with like the sleeved hands as opposed to the suited hands, but it does get some really nice range going on there. Got that swivel here at the muscle here, a little bit of a swivel at the waist. You get the leg splits going on here. Get kind of about that far. Double hinge knees, a little tight on this one. I can get his foot down, up. Bit of a rock on here, which is nice. So you can get some really cool poses with this Casey Jones. Again, I think it's better with the long sleeved arm as opposed to the suited arms. I do think the suited arms are just a little bit more a little bit tighter. Don't quite get the arms down as much either. Now, if you really want to complete the look for a Casey Jones, what's awesome about these two is that the parts are swappable. And like I said, really in this episode, he has gloved hands and bare hands. And I would definitely say he wears the gloves a lot more than just plain bare hands. So we'll go ahead and swap some parts and I'll show you what they look like. So if you want to, you could take that new Casey Jones hockey mask head sculpt and put it on the old figure. And I think he looks really good. Matter of fact, I do think he looks better than that original release hockey mask head sculpt. So, it's up to you which one you want to display him with. Now, because that new hockey mask head sculpt fits on the old figure, of course, that newer unmasked head's going to fit as well. So that looks really cool. So if you want to see what Casey could have looked like without the mask on, you definitely have that. Now, the one thing this doesn't come with is a mask to hold, unfortunately. But if you have that Mirage Comics version of him, you can kind of make it work. And here he is holding that Mirage Comics mask just in case you want to do that look. So of course, if you want to use that old Casey Jones hockey mask head sculpt on this newer figure, you could definitely do that. And just like how the head sculpts are interchangeable, the hands are also interchangeable. So if you want to have the gloved hands or one gloved hand, you really have a lot of different options with having both versions of this Casey Jones. For the first comparison, here he is next to the original NECA Toys Casey Jones, and then also the original Foot Soldier. These are not the same ones that came with each other. I just wanted to show the original Foot Soldier just to show how much different this one looks. But I do think they look really cool next to each other. I do think this head sculpt's way better. It's better proportioned, and I do like that the parts are interchangeable. Here he is with the Ultimate April O'Neil and also her boss Byrne, and I've got him wearing the Turtles in Disguise outfit. It's kind of like that Private Eye version of him, I guess. But you can see these scale really nice with each other. Here he is with the Raphael from the Turtles in Disguise set, and then also Raphael from the newer Haul-A-Thon Raphael, and he's got that pizza dough head. Here he is with another Haul-A-Thon figure, which is the Samurai Usagi Yojimbo, and then the regular version of Usagi next to him. Here he is with the Foot Enforcer, which is from the Mirage Comics TMNT, and that's also part of that Target Haul-A-Thon wave of figures. And then also that 2017 Shredder from that TMNT 87 box set. And then here's the same two figures with the Foot Soldier sliced in half. Here's Casey next to a couple of the movie Casey figures. So you have the one that came with the Raph 2-pack, and then also the Ultimate Casey Jones. Here he is with the Last Ronin Casey Jones, and then the Mirage Comics Casey Jones. And I will say, this version, this Toon version, came with a way better unmasked head than these guys. And yeah, here's a quick shot of all three of those unmasked heads together. This new one for the Toon is just so much better. I do love the 1990 ones, but just going off of like the comic and Toon, this new one's so much better expression too. For the last NECA comparison, here he is with the Xanatos from the Gargoyles cartoon, and then Jason from Friday the 13th Part 3 with a Custom Freak hockey mask. And then just to show you one more comparison of a Jason, here he is with that Toonie Terrors Jason. You can see just a little too short. For the next comparison, here he is next to a couple other animated series figures from the 90s. So you have Peter Parker from the Spider-Man animated series, and then Wolverine from the animated series. And they're made by Marvel Legends. I think they scale pretty good with Casey. Wolverine is typically a shorter character, and Peter is about the same height, so not bad. And here's Casey next to a couple Funko figures. So you have the Mystery Mini from the original series, and then you just have the Funko Pop of that classic 87 Casey. And for the final comparison, here's Casey Jones next to some of those classic vintage Casey Jones figures. You have the original Playmates of Toys figure from the 80s, then you have the 2K3 Casey Jones, and then you have the Casey/Wit figure from the classic TMNT 3 movie. And then the hockey masks are actually removable on these two Casey Jones figures. Alright, so that's my review of the Business Suit Casey Jones and the Foot Soldier Sliced. And overall, I'm really happy with this set. It's definitely different, and again, it's episode specific for the most part, but it's just a really cool set of figures. I know I haven't said a whole lot about the Foot Soldier, but I gotta applaud just the creativity behind this one. I do think it's really well sculpted, and I do like that they came up with their own illustration artwork for this to just kind of, make it stand out a bit. So it is really cool to have, again, as like a background character, or just, something really cool to add to any toy photography or any scene with tons of foot soldiers. So it does switch up, the army of foot soldiers you might already have. But let's be honest, Casey Jones is definitely the star of this set. And that first Casey Jones release was pretty tough to get. They eventually had it a little bit more available and re-released it again, which was awesome. But it's nice to now see 4 years later, or almost 4 years later, now we're getting this new sculpt and also a totally different body. So it gives you a reason to have both versions of Casey Jones, and you could really have fun with kind of sharing the parts. And I really do love the details in this. I really don't think they could have done much more with the Foot Soldier. I think we've got everything we needed to see. The only thing I think they might have missed was just adding like a Casey Jones mask just for him to hold. I think that would have been cool, but for the most part I think they nailed it on all the accessories. And I can't say enough about NECA's newest talent that's joined, like Aaron and Zilu 1984. They just really, embrace that vintage, that old school TMNT, that 80s Toon version. Just such a good combination of people to release figures for NECA. I mean, this is really the best talent out there, and I think it's the best recreation of the old art that I've seen. Thanks for watching my review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have a comment or question, put it in the comments section below. And until next time, guys, see ya.